It is 11:11 right now. I didn't even plan that. I just started having a channel come up in the car. I don't really know what to do when I don't have a hat on, to be honest. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I was starting to channel it in the car, and it has to do with, just for like a directory, metacognition, which is being like aware of your thoughts, like thinking about thinking, basically awareness or consciousness, and then time, and how time has all of the like paths that you ever could create are happening at one point, and that concept is like coming up again and again and again in my life. So I wanted to start with that. How, if you are creating something new, and if you're thinking about the concept of time being all at once, and this is like not a new concept, but if you really think about it, like think about the fact that you can have a realm, like a slide of your life here, and like another slide, and like another slide, and another slide, and then your state of being, feeling wise, not like your emotions, just your emotions, but your state of being somatically, so like what you feel like inside, so technically emotionally, but I'm not saying be reactive. I'm saying when you're like honoring and you're conscious of that process within you, and you're consciously using it to deliberately create your life. And so I'm saying when there's slides of your life in different ways, in one you're single, in one you're not, in one you're rich, in one you're not, and like if time works, they're finding out in science that like time physically works as one concept. Like it's all one thing. It's not linear. It's just linear to our perception of how we're interacting when we wake up, because our bodies, as we occupy this life in your own perspective, remember things. So our bodies are coming into patterning, and then we wake up, our consciousness shifts. Literally, dreaming is a different state of consciousness. That's already known. But if you really think about this stuff, what does this mean? So you're shifting in and out of consciousnesses anyways by going to sleep at night. You're just not taught that that's what it is. You're not taught that that's what you're doing with your perception or your awareness. You looking at me right now and thinking about you looking at me and listening, and thinking about you thinking about it. Like thinking about you listening is all consciousness, it's all awareness. It's like you're out here. There's a difference between awareness and like disassociation or like avoidance, but I'm saying, you know, we're just thinking about us realizing things. Like, so if we really think about how time is laid out in those little quadrants all happening at once, but you're just honing in on one thing. So like the slide, that the machine that makes the slides go, that like effort is the one that the universe is that thing that makes the slides change. The person on the end doing this to each slide is you, is the consciousness, is that electricity behind that reality. Because when you're in there, you're just you're in that thing, and you're clicking the button manually. So the electricity from this consciousness that's actually clicking the button down to see the different slides, let alone put them in the machine, you're the one putting them in the machine on some level, the different slides of your life, the different realities of your life, and then you're also the one honing in on which one you're gonna look at, and like in essence experience. This is the fucking download I'm getting in the car. And I've actually, and I like coached myself to talk about this right now, because I was like getting in my head, like, I mean, it sounds like nothing we even talk about on the daily. Like, we don't actually incorporate these terms or this way of thinking in our day of life. Like, we don't even incorporate a more thought out, realized reaction not suppression, but reaction delay world. Like, everyone's just so quick to, like, you get an email, you have to answer it. It's like, wait, maybe I want a second to, like, collect myself. And we're just swimming in this reality of vibrations, and, like, all of this stuff is going on that's making it even hard to work. Like, you can't even work. You're just, like, there's people all over the place needing help, and like what, like, you know what I mean? And if you're not in that state, it's like, I just want to get out of this misery, personal misery. Like, I don't want to be in this personal prison anymore. Like, you know, and that all happens in our minds, and it all happens in what we're focusing on. But it's not as easy as just like, oh, to focus on something else. It's actually understanding what we are. And there's a lot of people right now on earth that are waking up to understanding this. What are we when we wake up? What is it? What is this? Like, what is this existence? Like, that sort of thinking sometimes, like, needs to come through. Like, it needs to be remembered. Like, it doesn't have to be the sole way that you heal on your spiritual journey, because it's not. You're going to have to go into shadow work. You're going to have to go into feeling-based exercises, breath work, belief work in your mind. Like, you're going to have to do all these different things for different, it's a different tool for a different thing. But we have to, like, ingrain at least some of this bigger thinking into our daily conversations. Like, daily conversations. Like, as we focus more on the physical reality, and yes, this is what we're here to do, but we have to, like, remember at some point, because that gives you deliberate creation over your reality, yourself. No courses, no motherfucking retreats, none of this shit. You don't need anybody to tell you how to do that. And, like, yes, you're listening right now, but I'm not, like, you could do all of this yourself. Like, we have to just make that, like, known, because you already are waking up to that fact, and, like, maybe you've been awake, but you routinely forget. We need people in our life, like, we need our conversations in our lives in the line of the coffee shop, like, wow, what an interesting reality we're all collectively creating right now, because that brings awareness to what the fuck we're doing. And, like, yeah, I was saying right before this, like, I think about things and I'm like, no, like, I have said things that, like, Jay Shetty is saying on his podcast. Like, no, it's not exactly the same, but it's the same lesson. And I just used to think, oh, I'm just crazy sometimes. Like, that's just your mind. Like, it's literally your mind. There's no reason that you can't do it too. There's no reason that you can't have a voice and, like, explain, like, live in the world. That you think you're just so, like, such an outcast. Like, you can live in the world. Like, it makes sense to me. Like, everything I'm saying, like, makes sense to me. If I can just get what I'm perceiving into words and then physically communicate it, that's the only thing stopping me from doing anything that I want. So it's like, what is that thing for you too? Like, you might have a different way of perceiving, like, it literally might be art. Like, how are you interacting with the universe to where you know this is the thing, and I like to do this thing, and I want to create more of this experience because I feel like I'm in a flow state. I feel like I'm able to do this as my service, or, like, part in humanity. Like, do you like to speak? Do you like to do whatever it is that you like to do? To write? There will find the universe, the more that you do it, the more things that you do, not things as in different things, but the way you interact with life is, like, it's, like, fruitful, because you can invest in the physical reality and have it give you back. Not invest in a way where you're like, oh, I'm investing till I'm 40 because, like, you know, life sucks and then we get old. Like, no, that's a whole mindset that's been sold to us. It's like, wait, I'm investing in the vision I'm creating for myself in the next 6 months to a year, like, every second. But think about it, like, what do I want to be surrounded by in 6 months, because I'm going to start doing that now. And like that's a very plausible time frame for like a lot of things, like especially a huge change. If like if you really think about it, in 6 months, could someone create the entire way to get to Hawaii and like move and live in a van down there and have their animals and everything? Technically, yeah, like that's possible. So if you just believe in something that's actually possible, and then you move towards those things, as you are just claiming the slide of time that you want to realize. That's what I'm realizing. Because in my mind, a big trick is moving the energy through your body, because your body's remembering things. And like as I'm working out again, I'm seeing, oh, I can move things in physical reality so much quicker, and like I can manifest different ways of being. And then it also does help my mind. But you have to battle, in a way, your mind a little bit to refresh the screen. It's like you have so many tabs open, and you wake up and you're like, you didn't clear off whatever, you know, if you were eating or whatever, like you're not taking care of your day. I just said 11:11 again. You're not taking care of yourself or your reality now. So why would you be honored to be able to choose the next one? Like, you know, if you don't feel good about yourself, it's how you perceive. I can't even believe it's been 11 minutes. I don't even know. Like, I'm like out of it. Like, how you perceive the reality is also what's the general theme around how you feel about it, like your mood. Like, this is Dr. Joe Dispenza stuff. It's like you embody that mood, so that's what you're creating in the future. And why is there always a good time to start? Because you are gonna create anyways. Like why is now a good time to start as well? Because like this second, like, what is something I want to feel but I won't allow myself to feel? Say you want to feel sexy, and you can't feel that when you look at yourself in the mirror, but you do the mirror work and you do the feeling, but you deliberately think about those situations where you didn't feel sexy, when you felt sexually abused, when you're, you know, all of the things that come up. Or maybe you want to be sexy in a certain way now that's different. Like, are people changing genders? Are they switching roles? Like, you know, like maybe you want to feel sexy in a different way, and you're trying to embody a new reality for yourself because you haven't felt, you know, that previously, or you haven't felt that recently. So you're like, like you're creating that, but you have to move through the shame of dancing in the mirror or dancing on your pole or like wearing different outfits. Like, you have to create that in yourself first, you know? So like you can't just jump. That's why it's not all about just thinking and creating that reality. It's like you really do have to embody it, and there's stuff there. That's why you don't have it already. There's stuff there for you. You know, there's feelings and shame and all the things. Because when you came in, you had a light. And the people that are older, not to say that their age has anything to do with it, but if they haven't been clearing that off and they feel bogged down, kind of like what you get stuck in randomly, and you're trying to raise kids and you're just slapping things together, that's not going to create a very inspiring thing. That was the weirdest breath. I heard like a breath, but it had to have been the cat. And I see him right there, but like, oh, weird. It's like, you weren't given the best choice though. You know, you weren't given the best guidance. So you have to recognize like, oh shit, where was I not given the best guidance? And what was I even taught? Because that's what I'm going to become if I'm not consciously changing those beliefs and patterns and actively working to create a different reality than what your ancestry was. So, yeah, the other point was metacognition. And the metacognition, like what I'm thinking about is how you're thinking, how you're observing your thoughts is what I'm talking about. and I tried to put it into a list, like, what do I want to talk about in the video? But it's like, that makes sense now, because you're thinking in a different realm than what the problem was created. So you're thinking, if there's a problem here, bank account, and it needs to be filled. Think of this as a bank account, and think of this needs to be filled. And then you have another perspective. Like, you have a different reality that you're creating that comes together to, like, create what you want. And it's, like, completely different than you think. It's still filled, but, like, oh, it was the cap. But you didn't know that. You're just like, this is the bank, and it needs to be filled. And it has to happen every month. And then you routinely forget, oh, this is just the top to the thing. Like, it's just supposed to go that way. And if life could be lived that way, it's just easier. And then if there's something that comes up, so you have, like, you have bank that needs to be, like, this represents the bank. The fact that it needs to be filled represents, like, you needing money. And then the other piece of that is this tarot, the rest of the tarot card, the money that's coming into the bank, and of course it needs a holder, you know. So, and then we get the bank, and we have needing money. Oh, shit. And then if you never look at it, it's just like, fuck, I don't have any money. What the fuck? But you're not looking at the entire picture. So metacognition is thinking about your thinking. And you're like, oh, I need to remove the crystal selenite. But hey, there's nothing wrong with this selenite because it's cool. It's just in the wrong spot. It's just, I can observe it and judge it and be like, oh, it's broken because I broke it on the floor. And Jack's an asshole because he flipped it off and now it's not as selenite-y, and I hate when they splinter like this. But do I have to judge it that way? I could be like, yo, I have so many now, all these little splinters that come off, and I randomly have a piece of selenite, put it in my hat sometimes. I'm not saying everything could be like this, but I'm just saying it could be more complex and have more emotions coming up when you're removing the block. But it doesn't have to be like this death it doesn't have to be you getting close, like, to death, like, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it could just be, hey, this is how I'm dealing with this that came up. It could be excruciating shame that you don't want to feel because you're like, no, I'm fucking cool. I'm not like a stupid little girl anymore. Like, no, I have money. I'm hot. I'm fucking cool. You know? So it's like, and you have insecurities come up and you're like, and then it feels like shit. You know what I mean? But you don't have to look at it like that. You can be like, oh, I was a little girl one time. You can have more compassion about it. Like, oh, I was a little girl one time and, oh, like, all this happened to me. I felt shamed and ostracized, like, in my groups of friends and, like, everyone. And it's because they all wanted to dim my light, I started realizing. And I was a leader, and then sometimes they wanted to challenge that. But, like, and that's fine, but it's like I became, like, programmed to, like, think like a martyr. Like, you know, I took myself out of the spotlight so that I can be in the back seat, like, I don't have to, like, deal with any of this bullshit now. So you become, like, the martyr, or, like, you know, everything's, oh my god. So it just, that is all this block that you're removing, remember, to get the money in the bank, or, like, to fulfill the dream, or do those actions that actually, you know, I was gonna say inhibit, but I always, like, ruin that, make you want to do more health. Like, you know what I mean? This could be any action for health, whatever reality you want to create. Money in the bank. So, I hope that made sense. I'm kind of tired now, so. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of come on here, and do a little show and tell with the objects. No, but, like, who else is vibing with this? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because, like, I mean, I've said this multiple times, like, but I do rewatch these videos to get the download. because I'm stepping into new realities too. So honestly, some of the videos that I've done, I'm like, I rewatch, I think about them in my mind. I would even suggest other people doing their own videos, because it's like you're telling yourself, I mean, I'm channeling, but you're also like, yo, I'm just the only one here. So it's like I'm hearing it, you know, and I'm just recording this happening. And that's what I do when I spend time with myself. So there could be fun ways that you spend time with yourself. And you get to know yourself, and that's how you can more accurately create reality from the bird's eye point of view, you know? So yeah, I hope that was another perspective on manifestation, because we don't always get the full picture in a 5-minute video that is like you're scrolling. So, all right, love you guys. I'll see you soon.